Permission, we'll get started. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Wednesday night midweek Oasis service here at the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living. It's Wednesday, October 12th, and my name is Paul Prasuti, and I'll be your host tonight. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I always like to start out that welcome with hello, church family. One of our favorite practitioners, when he would do the morning meditation on Sunday, would say that. That's for Richard Robinson. He would always say, good morning, church family. So hello, church family. And we do welcome you tonight. So why do we call it an oasis on Wednesday night? Because it's a place where we can be together as a community to be spiritually refreshed between Sundays. We present our Wednesday night services in our version of a satsang style, with the intention that these gatherings be informal, intimate, and rich. We have an annual theme this year, which is Wonder, Wonder Everywhere. And the monthly theme is relatively new. It's Living Everyday Wonder, focusing on finances for the month of October. Now, after 2 years of not much happening at the center, this month's events are exploding into activity with pledge, senior minister candidate presentations, offers to manifest more money, and so much more. So hold on to your hat and let's flow with the energy. I'd like to welcome anybody joining us for the first time tonight. We're glad you're here. You obviously found our homepage. If you'd like to know more about us, after you explore the homepage a little bit, we have a weekly newsletter called the Village News Newsletter. It has all the information on what is happening at the center in the upcoming week. So if you click on the I'm New icon and look at the lower left-hand corner of that page, you can submit your email address and you'll begin receiving the Village News Newsletter conveniently in your email inbox every week. So if you haven't done it already, we're going to ask you to mute your camera and your microphone. That will improve the quality of our transmission. And please stay tuned. After the program tonight, we will be covering some special and very important announcements. So please stay for those. So we always begin our evenings on all of our gatherings. We begin and end with prayer, and Carmen West-Jefferson, Emeritus Practitioner, our speaker tonight, has asked her fellow Emeritus Practitioner, Karen Peterson, to do the opening prayer. So Karen, when you're ready, you can turn on your camera and your microphone. And if you could do the opening.
My tech man is taking care of that right now. There he did. Okay, there you go.
Well,
okay. Thank you. All right, so if you'd like to close your eyes and reposition yourself in your chair comfortably, if necessary. Let's know that Spirit is with us on this evening. We saw earlier in the glint of the waters during the first part of the presentation, the shine, the beauty, the truth, the clarity of our lives. And as we come together tonight, we come together to rejoice in the abundance of the universe and the abundance of all that is open to us. And as we do that, we have the pleasure of hearing from our beloved Carmen. Thank you. From our beloved Carmen about abundance, about joy, about peace, about fun, whatever. And so we know that all is well this evening and always, that we live in an abundant universe that cannot say no. I give thanks for everyone here and for everyone in the sound of my voice, within the sound of my voice. And I turn this over to Carmen. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Karen. And
Thank you.
that's right, Carmen. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Carmen West-Jefferson is one of our practitioners, but she's also an emeritus practitioner. That means she served for a certain period of time and she gets elevated to that position. And we're so grateful that she's here tonight with us. Tonight, she'll be speaking on Let It Flow. So Carmen, thank you again. And the floor is yours, ma'am.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you so much. Thank you and welcome everybody. Thank you for being here tonight. And yeah, it's 20, been a practitioner 22 years, which I'm very proud of, and still learning, still practicing the present, still learning, still being open at the top, and still being challenged sometimes by life as it shows up, but it's always beautiful. And I'm so grateful for all that my life is and all that it is not. And so in Let It Flow, I've talked about abundance before, and financial freedom. And if you've heard this lecture before, I'm sorry, but it always resonates with me. And so it's a story about when I was in practitioner training, Prac 2 to be exact. And Reverend Eloise Oliver was my instructor, my teacher. And she wanted her Prac students to manifest. She was very much into abundance. She wanted us to manifest property, something that we own, whether it's a car or a home or something like that. She used to say, I think everybody should have a piece of dirt. That was a way to have financial freedom, a piece of dirt, which she called a home. It's an old Southern term. But she had us read Susie Orman's book, The Courage to Be Rich. And Susie talked about, she had a very animated way in how she started her book. And she talked about, in a sense, she said she was sitting in her office. She starts her book, she said she was sitting in her office and she hears a knock on the door. And she says, answer, she says, come in. And as the door opened, it was Money. And Money said, hey, Susie, I want to talk to you. And Susie says, Money, what a pleasant surprise. How can I help you? And Money says, Susie, I'm tired of being misused. I want you to tell people about how to use me in a powerful way, that there is an abundance in the universe and that prosperity is everywhere. So I'm reading from some of my notes. And Susie says, well, Money, what do you mean? And Money says, people aren't letting me flow. I'm being cooped up in wallets, bank accounts, and women's breasts. I'm not being put out enough into the universe, which restricts my flow and my ability to spread abundance. I'm not meant to be stagnant. I'm everywhere for the taking. I need to be distributed and used. And so Susie says, well, how does this work? And so Money goes on to talk about what it means to, or Susie really goes on to talk about, she listens to Money and she gets her thoughts together and she talks about why is it courageous to be abundant. And she says, it takes courage because you have to look at the past. You have to look at your past regarding money. You have to look at your current financial situation. You have to know what can be achieved. And she talks about the past beliefs. What was your family's attitudes? What did you hear at the dinner table about money? What was your situation in life? Did you grow up medium means, or, did you live in poverty? What was the situation? And how did you react to those situations? And they form your belief around money. And she went on to say, money is spirit. Money is attracted to certain things, specifically strength and power. Money is attracted to conviction of knowing that it's powerful. Money is attracted to respect and not holding on to it and not letting it flow. And money is attracted to openness and willingness. And she went on to share what money isn't attracted to. Money is not attracted to financial shame. Money is not attracted to financial fear. Money is not attracted to financial anger. And as she talks about the fear, she says, and so she goes a little deeper with that. Well, what about financial shame? Well, the feeling that you're not enough, the feeling that you're not deserving, the feeling that, well, it didn't work last time I tried to do some things with money. It didn't work when I looked at my bank account. And then she talks about the financial fear. Well, what is that about? Balling up money in your pocket or purse, giving credit cards at the last minute, sticking your hand out to a cashier before the cashier's ready to give you change, in a hurry to get your money back. Holding on to money when giving the money to the cashier and you're still holding on while the cashier's trying to take it. Handing over money too quickly or tossing money and pushing it aside. And then she talks about the financial anger. What does that look like? Clenched fists, clenched mouth, maybe a crossed forehead. And she says the keys to overcoming financial shame, fear, and anger, the key is forgiveness. Do not keep anything in your life that you do not want. Do not keep anything in your life that you do not love and honor. And so she looks at the different things around that keeps us stuck in poverty or in shameful thinking around money. And one of the things she talks about, she says, look at your clutter, your attachments to material things, or your addictions to material things, your mindless spending. And she goes deeper into that. Clutter, your closets, attics, garages, drawers, car trunks, storage spaces, even your storage at someone else's house. Your attachments and addictions, or your things you feel you need, you got to have. The new cell phone every month, health clubs you don't attend, your coffee warmer that you have to have, your cup decorator, your honey extract, or 5 streaming services. And then she talks about your mindless spending, the dress in case you lose weight, the self-haircut book, the vegetarian cookbook when you love to eat lots of meat, the sewing machine in case you learn how to sew, the buy 4 and get the 5th one free at the grocery store, and the eating out every day, all day of the week. Why? Why are these things that can hinder your prosperity? Well, clutter restricts flow. Money must flow and circulate. Needs and attachment invoke complacency. It's hard to love and honor needs and attachments and addictions. Mindless spending adds up to thousands of wasted dollars per year and items that serve you in very little ways or never at all, i.e. the sewing machine in case you learn to sew. After forgiving yourself or your beliefs, or change your beliefs around clutter, your needs or attachments, your mindless spending, after this cleansing, it's good to use words that can create and affirm financial freedom. You can refrain from saying things like I'm broke, or I can't afford, or that's not for me. Instead, you can say I have money, I am abundant, and I choose to spend money that honor my oneness with spirit, that flows to serve others and the universe. And I gratefully accept and receive the abundance from wherever it flows. And she also suggests reframing from saying it's only money and saying there's nothing only about money. Money is spirit, money is God. It is important to create language that empowers us around the spiritual form of money. I am abundant, I am prosperous, I am money, flows easily and effortlessly through me. And so she also talks about in guiding, as Ernest Holmes does, allowing spirit to guide you. Be associated with like-minded people, individuals. It helps to build a foundation of what you want. You can't hold on to what you can't embody. Build a relationship, or I'm sorry, my notes here. Sorry about that. You can't hold on to what you can't embody. Co-create a relationship with the thing that you like. Who are you bringing to the table? Like minds really support, again, like minds really support us in our belief systems and helps to change our belief systems when we're around those who have manifested money. Trust the process. What you want is already there. Your needs are being met. Conviction. Continue to be convinced. Know that you know that you know that you know that prosperity is yours. Know we are all connected. Let go of how you think about money let go of how you think where money is supposed to come from. For instance, being asked out to dinner is prosperous. Rebates are prosperous. Stimulus checks are prosperous. Gifts are prosperous and prosperity. Continue to allow yourself to flow. Continue to allow yourself to be what you need to be in order to allow prosperity in your life. And going back to bringing individuals or bringing, what do you bring? And learning, how to say this, and learning about your prosperity or your lack thereof, because you're never not without prosperity, but in your belief system, again, look at who you're bringing to the table. Look at who you're surrounding yourself with. Look at what you're reading. Look at what you're listening to help you with your prosperity. And so with that, Susie closed her book, told Money thank you. Money became very happy that he or she is allowing itself to flow and be part of the larger universe, knowing that as it is going around and sending love and receiving love, because receiving, allowing yourself to be loved and reciprocal of gifts and rebates and stimulus checks, that's all part of it too. And so with this, let it flow, and so it is. Thank you.
And so it is.
So it is. So we're going to open up for discussion, according to Paul.
Yes, ma'am.
Any thoughts on the what I said? Hopefully you understood and it wasn't too much distraction turning my head. But I have a little stand here and it just fell over.
Of course, Carmen.
Of course.
Right? Of course.
Of course.
And
And I had it set up so beautifully.
You just let it flow. So that
Let it
and it
flow.
worked out just
Exactly.
fine. See?
Exactly.
So if you have a question or a comment or a statement that you'd like to share with Carmen, we ask you to turn on your mic cameras. Actually, everybody can if they want. Raise your hand like this, or you can use the reaction button at the bottom of your screen and do like I just did by clicking on raise hand. And Peter will recognize you. Peter from Portland, long distance award winner tonight, will recognize you so Carmen can respond to you. So who'd like to start us off?
I'm Karen here.
Karen, good. Go, Karen.
Yeah. Okay. This is not serious really, but I as you were putting your papers away or whatever just now, I remembered that song. Give me money. That's what I want. Give me money. That's what I want. Do you remember? It was a rock song kind of.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Just especially with your cheetah blouse and everything else.
Love my cheetah.
You look like money, honey.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I try to. Thank you. Thank you. I have a question. What's been your experience around money? How did you grow up learning about money? And how have you allowed yourself to become prosperous and abundant?
Are you asking me or just in general?
Or just in general, just in general.
Well, like not to hog the podium, but last night at the Reverend Jerry and Reverend Catherine are putting on. It was really about money, pretty much that way. And we were asked to think about how did we get acquainted with money or whatever. And I just remember going to my grandparents' house, and they would always have like a couple of dimes or nickels or quarters or something in the kitchen on the counter in the kitchen, just a few, but it just sort of like, being a child, and it's shiny, and I, you knew it was good for something. So that was an early lesson for me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Karen. Thank you. Anyone else?
Yes.
Bertha,
I
go
don't
ahead.
see I can't see a hand. Please speak,
Bertha-
whoever that is.
Bertha, is that right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I'm having challenges trying to unmute the mic and be able to speak. However, greetings, and it's good to see you, Carmen.
Oh, greetings. Hi, Bertha. How are
I'm
you?
fabulous. Another wonderful
Good.
week. I
Yes.
must say, in answer to your question is, money was interesting to see in the realm that when my uncles would come around, they'd always give us the big 50-cent piece, and we're like, oh, wow, we got money. And thinking it was something so big and special that I would always try to go hide mine or put it away. And it wasn't until, I guess, my adult years, and I must say my adult years, that I realized the energy and the meaning that I had around money, and it had nothing to do with the currency itself. And it was when I took this 3-day course called Millionaire Mind Intensive, or through Peak Potentials. And it was on a Sunday afternoon or Sunday morning when the facilitator spoke to us about a situation, and it brought to me something I heard in the family as a little girl. Had nothing to do with money whatsoever, but it was family adult business. And it stuck in my consciousness until I was over 45, 50, mind you. And until I had that breakthrough, I had concerns around and the energy around money. And so there was never lack in the sense of what we needed or wanted growing up, because I grew up in a large family anyway. So what we didn't grow in the yard, in the garden, Daddy would bring home from the market. And even we raised chickens. So when I had that breakthrough at Millionaire Mind Intensive, I said, I've got to volunteer, because if I could have a breakthrough like this, so powerful, to release my subconscious feelings and energy around money, I've got to be that for someone else. So I started volunteering. And now for me, and also with the teachings and studies that I've had with Reverend Eloise, it's been, money is everywhere. And whether someone says, oh, don't worry about that, I got you, I'll take care of this for you. Well, that $25 that someone just spent for me for something, go take that and tithe it, go pay it forward. So the reasons that I'm saying this too is because money is everywhere in my life. And I see it and I appreciate it. And the journey has been such that it's filling to overflowing right now. And so I just pause for the confidence and the courage to be able to speak my piece and know that money is everywhere, because it's energy, So thank you for the opportunity to share.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Anything resonate with everybody? I did buy a house, by the way, because of this book. I did buy a house, and I set up those principles in getting over my my beliefs around money. And we not that we had it, but we were like even though my last name is Jefferson, we did move up. I know there's a famous TV show with that, moving on up with the Jeffersons. But each home we moved to got better and better and better. But the money was really never discussed. If we asked for something, we got it. or sometimes we didn't get it, but it was never discussed why, or a lot of times my parents were frugal in the sense that they didn't spend money on unnecessary things. Unconscious spending was not something they did, or mindless spending. And in terms of I need this or need that, that wasn't, our needs were basic: shelter, food, and clothing, and so I kind of grew up in those means, but a lot of, but never really knowing how to deal with it until I got married, at ripe old age is 27. So I'm just, curious. And what struck me, Reverend Susan's talk on Sunday, when it was really in her, not so much her talk, but the interview afterwards. It was asked about prosperity and diversity, what she was going to do. How was she going to handle prosperity and getting more people of color into the church? And she said, you got to start looking at who you're bringing to the table. Likes attract likes, mental equivalent. And that's the same thing we can apply to money, being with myself, having to be around individuals who were prosperous, who thought of money as spirit, who thought of money as abundant, and not saying there's anything wrong with, your friends or whatever, but that whole mindset of not, oh, I can't afford it, or I not worthy, or, I'll never be prosperous, or that kind of language, and creating a new language of prosperity, I thought was really, really, really wonderful what she said, because it is about the mental equivalent. What are you attracting? Who are you hanging with? Who are you inviting to your table? Yes, Dodie, are you waving your hand? Okay.
Goody.
You're on mute. You're on mute.
I'm sorry.
Mhm.
The thing about money is so interesting, because I too am taking the class from Reverend Catherine, Reverend Jerry, what you think about. At any rate, this money thing is so interesting that it's all coming out like this, because forever I equate money with work. I equate money with having to earn money. As a child, we used to have this thing, like I shared with many, I had many brothers and sisters, 10 of us. And we used to have this thing where if one of my sisters was going on a date and she needed her brown sweater and she couldn't find it. Now you're 10 kids, you're in a 3-bedroom house. I mean, that sweater could be anywhere. So they would say, there's a reward out for the sweater. And all of us younger kids, we scatter. We go looking for that sweater. The reward would probably be a nickel or a dime or something little like that. But the sweater would be in the house, and it was. So I say that to say, it was always, you had to earn this money. This money just didn't come. So to hear you talk about money from a religious science perspective is really uplifting, but you don't know that kind of information. Like before, I shared with you, I didn't know I can think about what I wanted and accept that to be a truth. But when you're dealing with money as a kid, my parents, they both, well, they worked some, my dad worked, my mom worked some of the time, but there wasn't excess money. And if something happened and we could not afford it, which was lots of things, it just didn't happen. If you can earn it on your own,
yeah,
you can have it. The relationship I'm trying to say is that as I grew older and recognized that money is, and we talked about it last night, energy, and that money it's there, but if you get your head that is not, and the only way to get it is by earning it or working, or that's what you think. I mean, shift. It's like in religious science, when we recognize that God is all that there is and God is our life. That's a big shift from God is in heaven, watching, checking out. I mean, the shifts that you make in life are, I guess it's maturing.
Mhm.
But I really appreciate your talk and the energy that comes from it. It just sounds like you can get that money. You just
Mhm.
about it. Well, you have
Yeah.
to know you can think about it.
Mhm.
For that. Thank you. I'm complete.
Yeah, thank you, Dodie. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that perspective. Thank you. What do you guys think about the people, not guys, but people, those, the community here, think of the notion, do not keep anything in your life that you do not love or honor. Otherwise, it creates clutter, which restricts flow.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that?
Constance, go ahead.
Well, I wasn't going to talk about that, but
Oh, go ahead. Talk about what you want to talk about, Constance. I'm sorry, I was just throwing things out there. I didn't see your hand, hon. I'm sorry. I guess Paul is. I'm not seeing it.
I think clearing things out, it changes the energy. It changes the energy a lot, you know. So I think that is really important. But what I was going to say was, you know, I took the Manifest More Money class with Reverend Cheryl, and I would really, 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 really recommend it, because one of the things she's really good at. I mean, she says a lot of the same things you said. I mean, like there are things that everyone says. She says them in a way that allowed me to really get into the feeling of abundance,
Mm-hmm.
which is really important, because if you can't feel it, if you don't, that creates the mental equivalent.
Right. You can't, if you can't embody it, you
That's
can't
right.
really own it. Yeah. Right.
But one of the things I've been sort of been thinking about this ever since the class started, because right before the class, I have a budgeting software that I use, and ever since I started using it, my money has you know, I've watched the money grow in my bank account. And then in the summer, when I was at the Celebrating Your Soul conference in Kansas City, I was looking at, and all of a sudden I realized that my budgeting software was wrong. I had gotten off, and that I didn't have the money that I thought I had. So I just started the budget all over again, which is what you do. And you just say, okay, well, you start over again, and you take what you've actually got and you start allocating it the way. But I've been struggling, sort of thinking like, oh, and those old feelings had come back. And so, and yet, you know, the last couple of days I've been looking at and going, you're not living paycheck to paycheck like you used to.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you feeling that? So I decided to start, you know, when I look at my bank account, instead of going, oh, it's not as high as it used to be, or I thought it was, you know, I can go, I am so grateful that money is there. And
Yes.
to start to
Yes.
use that energy, so that when I change that energy, that then more can come into my life.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Starting where you are. Yeah. Just gratefulness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Constance. Great share. Thank you.
Thanks, Constance. Bertha, go ahead, Bertha.
Okay. And speaking about the things that you should get rid of, the question there for me, or the statement about that was, I had an opportunity to change residence. And so where were my things going to go? And so, of course, a lot of things I got rid of, gave away, I didn't sell. And some things that I did put away in storage, I even went through them again to see what it is that I don't need, since I haven't had them in my possession for a couple of months, longer than I should say. And to now have only what I really need. And I say need because I find that my books are my best friends. They talk back to me in ways that give me wisdom, opportunity to grow. The funny thing that I do have, that even though I don't watch it, is a 1989 Mitsubishi TV console radio. And the last time I actually really watched it was back when President Obama became President Obama. And that's probably 14 years, I guess now. I mean, it still plays, but I don't watch it. It's really a piece of furniture. And so that is something I guess I can say as an attachment, or because it came from a client that I had. And other than that, the clutter, I just choose to be clutter free so that the energy of what's good in my life and coming to my life can flow into my life. And those other things I can give away and allow someone else to make use of, whether it's through sidewalk distribution or a thrift shop or something other than the fact that, do I really need all this stuff? And so that's what I'm appreciative of, knowing that I don't need all this stuff. Someone else can make better use of it. And the quality of whatever it is, you know, they'll find it for themselves, but not for me to keep holding on to things that no longer serve me.
Right.
So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you, Bertha. Thank you. Is there anyone else? How about the story of money, just talking to Susie Orman? I mean, isn't that interesting? Yeah, Judith.
Good.
I'm so glad that you talked about Susie Orman, because sometimes I turn in and she's talking on KQED, and I had a reaction. So you have really helped with that. I have a reaction to her because I feel like she's only talking to people with lots of money already. So this story that you've told has just given me a completely different way to look at her and what she talks about. And so I'm really grateful for that. Thank you. And with clutter, I live now in a one-room studio, coming down from, I used to live upstairs in the same building in 5 rooms. And now I'm down in 1 with a beautiful garden outside. But really, I have too much stuff for that. And so my daughter was here for a few days and she helped me start to go through stuff. And I want to look at anything. Have I looked at this? Have I opened this book in 10 years? Have I, have I worn this piece of clothing, in 5 years? And it's just there, and so I've got a way to examine the clutter, and I'm beginning to do it. And I am really happy. The more I look around the place, and wow, it feels more air, more air. And well, the other thing is a little strange. I mean, I'm 76, so if I don't want anything to be cluttered that my beloved daughter has to go through after. Why should she, So partly I do it for me, for how I live, and partly I do it for my eventual demise, I guess. And so that anyway, I don't know if that's strange, but that is one of my reasons for doing that. And yeah, so anyway, thank you for Susie Orman. And can I read that somewhere? Is that a part of a book?
It's on Amazon. It's an older book. It's 20-something years old, but it's one of her spiritual money books that I thought was really wonderful. And I got a lot of manifestations from it, and just applying those principles. And one of the things she talks about, and overcoming your, shame and fear and anger around money, because that's things that hinder us too, is around forgiveness. And so she talks about that as well, forgiving yourself for your beliefs. Constance kind of touched on that, instead of getting mad what it used to, that it's not used to be, just be grateful for what it is. Money is so spiritual. And I think her whole concept of money talking to her and telling her that people are mistreating me and I'm not flowing. Can you help me get the word out to people? to please utilize me because I'm God and I'm spirit, and I'm not being utilized like I should be, take me out of, and not saying you can't be in a bank or a wallet or something, but she really puts a lot of emphasis on the spiritual thing of money in terms of it not being crumpled. It when you give it to a
Oh,
cashier, give it with love. When you write a check, write it with
wow.
love.
Wow.
My aunt used to
Yeah.
always put bless you on her checks, because she's giving it with love. And how that multiplies, how that graciousness and that reciprocity really multiplies. And then accepting gifts, accepting money, something like, I don't know if any of you, I used to feel really uncomfortable, people taking me out or giving me things, especially if I hadn't given them anything. Now I'm not like that anymore. Thank you. You want to take me out? Thank you. You want to give me this? Thank you. Because it's a form of prosperity, and it's flowing. It's the universe flowing. It's the universe giving back. So it
Yeah.
comes in many ways. It comes in many ways. But I think what struck me most in, money saying, I have to be honored. I have to be respected.
Mhm.
I
Right.
have to be cared for. If you're going to really utilize me and have me flow for you the way that you need me to, so that your prosperity is met, please respect me. Don't be anger, no shame, no fear. Allow me to flow. Allow me to love you.
Right.
And prosperity can be in more than one way, right? I mean, as I
Absolutely.
say,
It
I
doesn't
live
have to
in
be money. Yeah.
a beautiful one room, but it's a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful place. It's like a brand
Mm-hmm.
new place. There's a garden right outside. And I am very lucky in that I've been renting from my landlords for, I don't even know, 35 years in just a couple of different,
Wow.
in a
Right.
different
That's a
place, and now
blessing.
in this place.
That's a blessing. That's prosperity. That's
Yeah.
prosperous.
And I am so grateful. I'm
Right.
grateful.
Look what they're giving back to you, and
Yeah.
you're allowing,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
allowing,
Yeah.
allow prosperity in your life.
Yes.
Right.
I don't know if I'm over time. Yeah.
Bertha, go ahead.
One last thing I wanted to say too is that I had taken a class at East Bay some years ago before Reverend D. Jacqueline was Reverend D. Jacqueline. And that was one of the books about financial prosperity. And the example that was shared in that class, to have $100 bill and to have it on you, not at home or in the bank account somewhere, have it on you so that you knew that you had $100 bill or $100 on you, and that you would not spend it unless it was something very, very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And I still keep
Like
that
that.
practice going, because no matter what, is this going to allow me to take this $100 bill and break it for what?
Mm-hmm.
And the other piece to that is, Reverend E used to always say that there may be $2 in the world, and I'm going to have one of them.
Ah,
And so,
Oh, she did used to say that. Yeah.
and on my altar, I keep a $1 bill. And so I said, well, she may have one and I'm going to have the other one. But I look at how I had the energy around money or currency, to the point that knowing that it's everywhere, I honor money, because when I get some money back in the grocery store, or wherever it is I may be shopping, and it's not kind of like flat or clean, I'll say, excuse me, would you mind changing that for maybe changing this $5 bill or $10, because I want a cleaner bill. I don't want,
Mm-hmm.
as they used to say, service station money. I want money that looks like, hey, you respect me, you honor me. So when you shared that piece about honor and respect money, that's how I feel and want money. And then also to turn it the same facing way when I'm giving the money to someone, that it's all facing the same way. So
Yes.
I have a whole new way
Yes.
of being and sharing and expressing when I handle the currency.
Absolutely. She
Thank you
also
again.
said, I remember that workshop, and the way you put it in your wallet, not folding it up or crumpling it. It had to be laid flat in your wallet, that
Yes.
$100 bill, the respect of it. Yeah. 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 It's all spirit. It's real interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, speaking of Reverend E, Carmen, when she
Mhm.
spoke here often, she would always get on my case about put more energy into that offering, Paul. And so I would say, I'm not doing the offering tonight. Reverend E's going to do it. And she would put energy into that offering statement. But one
Yes.
thing she taught us that I heard from her, and many of you may already know, is about the legend of Reverend Ike. Do you
Mhm.
do you guys
That's
know
right.
about him?
That's right. Yes.
He
Oh,
was
she's a famous teacher of his work. Yes.
right. He was a prosperity minister, I think, in Los Angeles, and it was
In Los
quite big.
Angeles.
And
Yes.
she would say, Reverend Ike would say, "This is what you should say. I love money, and money loves me." And she goes,
Mhm.
grab it and hold it and kiss it and caress it and rub it all over yourselves. And I can just see her doing it, and I'm thinking,
Yeah.
okay, Reverend E,
Yeah.
be careful here. You know,
Well, I mean, can you imagine she wants her prac class to manifest homes, property? That was our assignment, in prac too.
Wow.
You know, that's,
totally cool.
forget
Totally
parking
cool.
spaces and clothes. I want you to manifest a home. Those of you who don't have one, and then she had something for somebody, but something big. Something that can bring in money, or you had to open up some sort of account. I mean, that was her. She's always been into prosperity and abundance, and a teacher of that, and has always taught her practitioner classes from that stand, about prosperity. The universe is abundant.
And the
you
more
know
I said it on Wednesday nights, the more I was I realized I was uncomfortable declaring that kind of relationship with money, that I loved it, but I
Yes.
do.
Yeah.
You know? And so I encourage it to love me back.
Yes. Money loves me, and I love
I
money, and
love
money
money, and
loves
money
me.
loves me.
That's the law of attraction. Money wants to
Right.
be, and I mean, and Susie talked about that. Money wants to be, that's why money showed up in Susie's office and listen, I'm not being distributed. I'm not being, I'm not flowing,
Right.
yeah, people aren't attracted to me, they're not attracting me, not attracted to me, but they're not attracting me in a way that I can really fulfill what they want in life, and can be utilized. So and sometimes it feels a little judgmental, but the principles are there of money being spirit, and even, just in the whole thing of studies have been done with people who, everyone has money. It's not so much about being rich in the sense of being, it's about having what you want in life that you can bless someone else with, just flowing, just having it to keep the universe working, keep love going, keep forgiveness going, keep gratitude going. It's just one of those spiritual tools that can flow from everyone, and everybody can have it. But they do studies on individuals who have accumulated money and keeps prosperity, and they follow a lot of these principles, very little clutter, no mindless spending, don't get so attached to things where they're using it emotionally. I still have my work to do about retail therapy. I don't need that, and now we've got a problem with, they call it fast fashion, just, very inexpensive fashion that just, or not so much the fashion itself, but us turning over clothes. Back in the day, you bought clothes, maybe twice a year. People are shopping every day, buying clothes, buying things that they really don't. The sewing machine, because one day I might learn to sew. How many things do we have that you got that one day I'm going to wear this, I'm going to have this, I'm going to, those kind of things, that restricts flow, because sometimes we got it that having an abundance of things makes us rich, but it's just the opposite, because they're just material. They don't flow, they stay stagnant, and they clutter.
Right,
Well, we're letting it flow tonight. Perfect timing. It's time for us to move into our announcements, but before we do that, let's show our flow of appreciation for Emeritus Practitioner Carmen West-Jefferson. Thank you, Carmen. Everybody
Thank you,
say
guys. I hope you
hello.
enjoyed it. I hope it wasn't confusing.
No,
it's very
it
educational.
was good.
And
Good
say
and good
thank
and
you.
good.
Oh, yes,
Thank
right.
you.
And
Thank you.
Reverend Sally put the name of the book in the chat for those that are interested. There was some questions about
Yeah, thank
that.
you.
Thank you, Reverend Sally.
So yeah,
There
so
were some questions about what, Paul? I'm sorry.
what
you
was
say?
the name of the book?
Okay, yeah, The Courage to Be Rich.
And Reverend Sally answered the question for those in chat. She put the title in there. So if you want to know what the name of the book is, it's The Courage to Be Rich, and it's in the chat. So with that in mind, let's enjoy some super cool announcements tonight, because we're gonna let it flow on announcements. We've got something great happening here at the center all the time, as our website shows. But what's real exciting is the process of us finding a new minister.
Yeah.
And that's been our forefront for the last year or so. And we've started that process. Last Sunday, Reverend Susan Overland of San Jose came and as one of our approved candidates. And this Sunday, October 16th, Reverend Sunshine Michelle Coleman is our second senior minister candidate. And she will be speaking on playing with money. Please join us in person with meditation at 10 and the service at 10:30. The service will be followed by an open forum type question and answer session with Reverend Sunshine in the sanctuary. As you can see on the slide, that gives you the order of what's happening on Sunday. Lunch will be served afterwards, after the Q&A in the social hall, and it is free for everyone who pre-registers for the workshop by this Thursday, October 13th, which is tomorrow. Then at 1:30, Reverend Sunshine will be back in the sanctuary leading a workshop on honoring beginnings and endings as sacred. So this is very important, so please hear me clearly. Registration is an absolute must for everyone wanting to attend the workshop. In order to register, check out the classes and workshops section of our website. And then there's a drop down for upcoming classes and workshops in that section. Scroll down the page and it's right under Reverend Susan's workshop information. Then if you want to read Reverend Sunshine's bio, you can go to our ministers page that's on our website. And that's in the section of the website called About Us in the heading. So please, 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 if you know somebody, or for yourself, please register. That allows us to know how much material we'll need to support the workshop. So please tell your friends, and you get a free lunch with it if you're coming to the workshop. And it's if you're not coming to the workshop, you can have lunch with us for a love donation. We also stream our Sunday service live and directly to YouTube, and the link is on our homepage of our website if you choose to watch this service from home. So there's our three candidates. We saw Reverend Susan Overland last Sunday. We're seeing Reverend Sunshine Michelle Coleman this Sunday, and then the following Sunday will be candidates for a co-ministry, our Reverend Jerry Carter and Reverend Francione. Next Wednesday, October 19th, practitioner and ministerial student Elena Hutchison will continue the discussion of playing with money. Meditation is at 6:30 and the service is at 7, and our Wednesday night services will remain on Zoom. Now, you've received an email recently about the fabulous Manifest More Money course starting from 6:30 to 8:30 on Monday, October 31st. Constance actually talked about how great this is. Reverend Cheryl McCreary is here to tell about it herself. And by the way, she's just been appointed the new senior minister at CSL San Jose.
Hello there. I'm Reverend Cheryl McCreary, the creator and facilitator of Manifest More Money. You know, so many of our New Thought communities, our members are struggling right now about money. There's constant news of inflation, recession, gas prices, and it's easy to forget the truth. The truth is, we live in an abundant universe. The truth is that unlimited abundance is our divine birthright. It's time to heal our relationship with money. If that's work you want to do, I invite you to join me in the online course, Manifest for Money. We're kicking off on October 31st. We are going to do a deep dive into spiritual practice and practical actions to help you bust through your money set point, to help you release old toxic money beliefs that are holding you back, to help you manifest more money with ease and grace, and to help you move into divine right relationship with money. If that sounds like work you want to do, I want you to join me on October 31st. Now, the good thing is your center has its own unique registration link, and I want you to use that link and that link only to register for this course. When you do, your center will receive a percentage of your registration fee. I am partnering with your center's profit sharing, so we all benefit. Listen, we're going to kick off on Mondays, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Pacific time, starting October 31st for 5 Mondays. I hope you'll join me. I look forward to seeing you there. I will see you and Manifest More Money. Bye.
Excellent. Have you joined the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living's Prosperity Galaxy yet? Our rocket
It started when brain fog.
Our rocket has lifted off with the power of 12 disciples of science of mind and prosperity thinking. To get to our destination, we need your pledge power. Your active participation in our annual pledge campaign is critical for our efficient planning of our financial budget for the next year. The program is simple. You complete a 2023 pledge card. When you do, you can put your name and you will receive a star, and you can put your name on that star and add it to our Prosperity Galaxy display in the sanctuary. The more stars we have, the brighter our 2023 financial future will be. Click the donate icon on the homepage of our website to be taken to the pledge campaign information and the online pledge card. Nonprofit partner applications are due, and the deadline has been extended to Monday, October 17th. So nominate your favorite nonprofit. The application is on the nonprofit partner page under About Us on the website. With the monthly theme of finances, our Spirit Treasure bookstore has an abundance of books and items symbolizing prosperity, as well as the books recommended by our senior minister candidates. Visit our bookstore after Sunday service until 12:30. And always, as always, for information on all that is going on at our Oakland Center, please visit our website. Be sure to check out our events page. Don't forget, you can follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And if you're not receiving it already, you can sign up for our weekly newsletter, The Village News. These are some of the folks that are available to help you with information at the center. Susan and Zoe and Reverend Jerry and Constance in different capacities. Don't forget the Ministry of Prayer with Dorothy. And there's Dow Becker. She is our bookkeeper. So lots of folks to help you out. If you have any questions, you can call the center. So speaking of the center, I said we're in this period of transition. We're seeking and finding and asking for a new minister. So read along with me as we perform this sacred ritual of reading the covenant. Just a second. There we go. Breathe in deep and please act like or feel like we're seeing it for the very first time with fresh eyes and an open heart. There is only one life. This life is good. This life is God. This life is my life now. And knowing that I am one with this life that is God, I therefore know that I am one with all that its blessed expressions, which includes the presence of a new minister for my beloved spiritual community. Because I know that the highest purpose of my new minister is to reveal spirit, I therefore know that my new minister is a revelation of God as wisdom. I further know that my new minister is the fulfillment of what which has been promised by spirit, for it is written, I am filled with divine wisdom. I allow divine mind to fill my mind now. As I stand in agreement with my beloved community, I see my new minister revealed before me as unity in the community. I now intend to experience my new minister in full cooperation and agreement with my community, knowing this truth about myself, for I am inspiring unity and diversity, embracing and nourishing our community. I am awakening the wisdom within. I am healing and expanding our community with the power of love. I am engaging the community in building a world that works for everyone. I am deepening family consciousness. As I now accept the highest expression of a new minister into my life, I know that they are revealed in a way that illumines spirit and serves the highest and greatest good of all who are touched by their presence. I am grateful God is gracious, and so it is. Ashe. So in that spirit of gratitude and hopefulness and wisdom and power and unity, we move into our offering period. I love money and money loves me, Reverend E used to tell me. And she says, and say it with gusto.
Yes.
So I do. So I hold my offering and I ask you to hold you whatever offering that you may have for the center, whether it's time, treasure, or talent. Hold it close to your heart as I recite the English version of our affirmation tonight. God is lavish, unfailing abundance. I am lavish. I am lavish abundance. I give with joy and I receive with joy. And so it is.
So
I release my gift through these gates into the center through the various means that we have to do so. And that's all located, most of it, not all of it, is located on our website. If you go to our donate page, looks like this, and you click on the donate icon up there with the hands and the heart, it'll give you the ways that you can donate by credit card, and has our address if you'd like to send a check. You can text it or Zelle it, or you can come right through these gates on Sunday morning and join us in the sanctuary if you're comfortable doing so. And we have an offering basket that's more than willing to receive your very generous gift. For all the money that we put in that offering basket, it goes right back out these gates and into the world to do great work. So I know, based on what Carmen has shared with us tonight, that we can truly let it flow. So again, in a moment of gratitude, I want to thank some people that help me present and are not seen very often. And the first one I really want to thank is our Zoom team. Our host, Peter, up in Portland. PowerPoint tonight was done by the magnificent Helene, doing a video and everything. Magnificent. I was spotlighted beautifully by Sabrina, and I was muted wonderfully by Alice, but probably not enough. But anyways, I want to thank that wonderful Zoom team. Thank you guys. Can't do it without you. I have a message from Reverend Jerry. She wanted to be with us tonight. She had a conflict, but she sends her love to Carmen. And Carmen, it worked. You were wonderful tonight. So everything is all good and golden. I want to thank Carmen for the meditation, as well as Karen Peterson Emeritus Practitioner, for opening us up in prayer tonight. And have I forgotten? Yes, I have. This does not work without the constant support of two folks, personally and professionally here at the center. I want to thank Constance Chapman, our administration person. She keeps everything flowing so that we have all the right information, all the PowerPoints, everything, keeps it together for us. And my very, very good friend, Zoe DeMuro, who always is available to help me whenever. And it's always good to have something in my back pocket right next to my $100 bill. Okay. And that's so. So Carmen asked Zoe, who's a practitioner, to close us in prayer tonight. Before we do, Peter, I covered everything, right? We're good? I think so. I didn't leave anybody off.
We're good. We're good.
Sir, I proceed as Peter tells us. Thank you again, Carmen. So I turn it over to you if you'd close us out in glorious prayer.
I would be honored to. So folks, let's just settle in and take a breath and hope that your cat doesn't bite you the way my cat is biting me. And let's take a moment, not to put aside what has come before this, but to drink it all in, to take it in, because there was an abundance of wonderful things that were being presented this evening by Practitioner Emeritus Carmen West-Jefferson. We know that God is indeed all there is. And we know that all that has come into existence because of God. We know that there is abundance that we cannot even imagine. So how in the world can we, unique individualizations of that love, of that one, of that abundance, imagine anything other for ourselves than abundance? Knowing that we have been given this incredible gift to bring to our lives and to bring to this world the best that we possibly can, to make of our own lives the most that we can, and to take what we have done, to take our talent, to take our treasure, to take our time, and to bring it out into the world so that we can heal, so that we can provide, so that we can support, so that we can share. And how glorious that is. And so in thanksgiving for all of those gifts, in thanksgiving for the beautiful philosophy in which we revel so often, and in which we find such incredible freedom and joy, I release my word to the law, knowing that as I have spoken, it is done. And so it is.
And so it is.